Hello friends, I'm back to talk to you about this quarter. This is our first quarter of the fiscal year and we've had, I would say, mixed numbers. We are good on the profitability profile. We've had shown EBITDA growth at about 25% versus the previous year. We've got profit after tax growth. But on the revenue side, we've been a little muted. And there are a couple of reasons for it. The quarter's been a little bit unusual because we've had a cutoff which is much larger than we had anticipated. A cutoff is when some of your sales get deferred into the next quarter. And we've seen a little of that happening. That's amounted to almost about 180 to 200 crores. And then, like we had mentioned earlier, that we need to correct the model in the generic business, and that's played out. And that's had an equal, if not more, impact to the cutoff sales. So if you add those two together, I think growth would have looked a lot better. The good news is the cutoff sales growth comes into quarter two. The generic model hopefully should start looking better quarter two onwards. And growth, hopefully would be back for us. And so too with the profitability profile. I want to talk a little about markets. The US did increasingly well for us this year. Again, continuing what it did in quarter four, we've shown a 50 million increase. That's pretty significant compared to where the US was in the previous year. And remember, this includes cinacalcet and our base business. And outside of cinacalcet, the base business has also grown. So there's good momentum there, and we're doing well over with the US market. Let's come to South Africa. A little bit of strain and stress there. With respect to the tenders, there's been some rebasing that's happening. It's been going on for 2 quarters. We're probably coming to the end of that rebasing cycle. But other than that, private market growth remarkably strong in South Africa. That market continues to do well for us. We're number 3, trying to take on aggressively on how much faster we can grow than the market on the private side. So that's South Africa. All indicators, whether it's South Africa, India, the US, looking good for the markets. The execution potential has to improve tremendously to get us to the aspiration that we've set for ourselves up for the year. I want to talk about a few events this quarter. We acquired rights to the anti-infective. Cipla has been lending its voice a lot to antimicrobial resistance, and Zemdry is another yet example of that. And Zemdry is now been acquired through bankruptcy proceedings in the US. We're looking forward to commercialize that asset. It becomes a second after Tramadol in the US institutional space. So we're progressing our specialty journey. We're progressing our R&D journey. We have we've targeted to file 2 products in the respiratory space for the generic market in the US. We're continuing with that. We also had something on the emerging side of the world where the numbers are muted again because of some part of the cutoff belonging to that market segment. But we've also seen that you may have seen, we've just launched our new foray into China. We have a joint venture. We're setting up a manufacturing facility. Obviously, nothing's going to happen in China tomorrow, but we've set up a steady pace for a market in 3 to 4 years from now. So that's the news. Lots happening within Cipla, a lot of momentum. We're obviously being a little bit challenged in this quarter, but hoping to bounce back in the quarters ahead. So before I end, thank you every one of the Ciplaites. Thank you every one of our partners, vendors, who are working earnestly with us to make sure that we provide patients with the right medication and the right quality. Thank you very much, and good luck to the next quarter.